Good evening, everybody. JDev has returned once again to give you exactly what you want. And of course, that would be more of me. That amazing, beautiful backdrop that's behind me. It's amazing, isn't it? Giving you my thoughts, my opinions, and hopefully in this video, some award-winning expert analysis on a certain topic subject. Well, it's April 14th, 2019, which can only mean one thing. I'm here to give my review or slash recap of tonight's season premiere, the final season of Game of Thrones, Season 8, Episode number 1, and there's not even an episode title in this. They're either going to release them at a later date or just have 8.01, 8.02, 8.03, 8.04, 8.05, and 8.06. I don't know, but there's no title for tonight's episode as of the recording of this video. But I'm going to give my recap of the episode, what I liked, what I didn't like, and my overall score of the episode, and that can be anything in between a 0 and a 10. But before I do that, if you're not caught up in Game of Thrones, if you haven't watched tonight's episode, well, you probably shouldn't watch this video because I'm going to spoil it. Nothing super big happened, but there's a lot of little things that happened this episode. So you've been warned. So Season 8, Episode number 1, the long-awaited premiere of Season 8. There's a lot of little things, like I said, that happened in the episode. Let's just kind of recap. I like the beginning of the episode where they showed random people showing up to Winterfell. You know, the big army that shows up with Grey Worm, Missandei, Daenerys, Jon, Tyrion, Varys, and who else has been in the car? The thing with Tyrion and Varys. I don't remember now. That was cool. I kind of gave an applause for each character, surprisingly enough. It was nice to see that. We also saw Euron show up at King's Landing. He sees Cersei. Him and Cersei get it on. I wonder if Cersei's going to tell him that that baby is his. If she even has it, but I'm starting to think that's what she's going to do. Just a hunch in my opinion. We also saw after that Theon actually rescues Yara on the ship and takes her back, which I find that a little weird because it didn't seem like Euron had a lot of people like watching her. Only a few here and there. You'd think he'd have a whole army, you know, in case somebody tried to rescue her, but nonetheless, the Greyjoys, well, Theon and Yara are reunited. I could not care less about them because I really hate Theon and Yara, not as much as Theon, and I hope they both die. Yara's actually kind of funny. I mean, he's a dick, but he's funny. He was like the comic relief in the episode. We had a lot of reunions of characters, or reuniting characters. Arya had a lot of them, actually. First, we got Jon Snow, which was great. Jon and Arya haven't seen each other since Season 1. So that was pretty epic. And then in the same scene, she got reunited with Gendry and the Hound. And the Hound called her a cold bitch. You left me for dead, at the end of Season 4. And then Hound doesn't come back at Season 5 at all. And then he shows up in Season 6, Episode 3, 4, whatever it was. 3 or 4, one of the two. So that was pretty good. I loved that. We also, of course, saw Daenerys, with Jon at the waterfall thing with them making out, and then the dragon kind of giving Jon like the eye. That was kind of strange, to say the least. And of course, shortly after that, Daenerys and Jorah show up, talking to Sam, and Daenerys has to tell Sam that, because his father and his brother didn't bend the knee, she had to execute them. So Sam was pretty pissed about that, and he's not liking Daenerys right now. Hopefully he comes to like her, but he's not very happy. Sam was even though his father and his brother were dicks, it's his family, so he has every right to be sad about that. We also saw the fact that Sam and Bran have a scene where Bran tells Sam it's time. You need to tell Jon Snow what we talked about. So he goes in the crypts, sees Jon, and he has to tell Jon that he's actually the heir to the Seven Kingdoms. And Jon is, I'm not really sure what Jon thinks about that yet. I'm sure there's going to be more about that in the next episode, but it was pretty cool. Jon's look like, what the hell? I'm like the alpha here out of everybody. And Daenerys has no claim to anything right now. So, I don't know, is there going to be a rift between Jon and Daenerys? We shall see. And then, of course, a lot of people were thinking that Tormund and Beric Dondarrion were dead after the Season 7 finale 2017. And we see that they're just doing just fine. And Tormund has always had blue eyes. That was like the funny one-liner of the episode. So that was pretty cool. And I'm not sure what to make of this particular scene, but we started the episode off with a little kid he's like the king of one of the kingdoms or something like that, even though he's a little kid. And I know he went back to that place to give to with more wagons to bring more people to Winterfell. I don't remember his name because they said it very quickly, but he's hanging from the wall of death essentially. So that was an interesting development. Again, I'm sorry I didn't catch his name, or I did catch it, and then I forgot it already, and I haven't went back to watch the episode. Not sure if I'm going to yet. Maybe, not sure. We'll see. So that was interesting. So Beric and Tormund for now are doing fine, and like I said, Tormund has blue eyes. Another great scene in the episode, and probably my favorite moment of the episode, was when Jaime shows up at Winterfell. Jaime, one of my favorite characters, and I flip back and forth between Jaime and Arya. And the first person he sees after he gets off his horse is Bran, just sitting there in his chair. Obviously, there's going to be a lot to come of that, and it might even be, if you would have done what you did in the very first episode of Game of Thrones when you pushed me out that window, I would have never become the three-eyed raven, and I would have never known all this stuff. So, pretty good episode for a premiere. Again, nothing super huge happened, but it was a good episode. So my score of the episode, if I had to rate it anything between a 0 and a 10, it's not a 10. I'm going to give it a solid 8 point, I say 8.5. Again, it was good. Some minor developments in the show. Obviously, they're leading up to some big episodes, and that we need. I think we might even get one next week. But definitely episode 3 is going to be huge. I've heard about a battle in that episode. I don't know any spoilers. Surprisingly enough, I'm watching this as clueless as anybody. So that was my take on the episode. I liked a lot what I saw. We saw Tyrion too, but yeah, he didn't really have anything big in this episode. But I figured I'd mention his name. Oh, there's one thing I forgot. So Bronn, Qyburn talks to Bronn about Cersei wanting him to do whatever shoot somebody or whatever. I wonder if him and Cersei are going to have a scene, because they used to be a couple way back before Game of Thrones, and they have it in their contract that they're not going to be any scenes together. They don't want to even look at each other. So that was a little development there, but interesting nonetheless. So my score of the episode, like I said, 8.5 out of 10. Again, a good episode. Not the most awesome episode ever, but after a year and a half, I would have wanted a little bit more. Maybe a huge character death besides one kid that we just saw a debut in this episode. So if you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, thumb up the video, unless you didn't like the video, and leave a comment, give your thoughts on the episode. Not too much stuff. And if you know anything about the next couple episodes or anything for the rest of the season, don't say anything. You can talk about a battle in episode 3, but don't give any spoilers if you know them already. And of course, if you're on Facebook, like the video if you liked it, or you can react to it a different way. And make sure you leave a comment, because we need to get a discussion started about this. But yes, the wait is finally over. Winter is here, and Game of Thrones is back for 5 more weeks. So hope you enjoyed the video. And of course, as you know, I'll be back again soon with another. Peace.